Shalom, everyone. My name is Zachariah Yahweh, and I'm coming back with another lesson prophesying the downfall of Babylon, aka America, home where all the gross abomination occurred. Just going into another lesson, getting it in. I was watching. I've been sleeping all day. I don't know. I've just been getting this rest, just getting rested up. Because I've been going hard for the Lord for the last month. I've been going hard almost every day, like, the Lord wants us to, and a lot of my videos had to be up. I had to take them out. Just take them out of my phone, so I can continue to do the work. Because, see, like I said, I don't know these devices that well. I don't know how to fix things to make, so the videos can upload faster. And, I'm still learning. But anyway, make a long story short, I watched this video today, and when I woke up, I seen a video where ICE agents detained a Brooklyn Park police, and she said, I'm assuming she was a sister. And man, these dudes, we here. And the police officer, and then she tried to record it. They slammed her phone, took her phone and slammed it down on the ground. So man, so y'all be careful out there, a lot of, and those who gonna get caught up is those that don't know what's going on. Those that ain't been paying attention to the signs of the times, man. A lot of our people don't even know what time we're living in, man. They still out here just doing what they want to do, man. We can't live like that no more, man. You got to seek the Lord, man, while he may be found. And how do you seek the Lord? Via his prophets. His prophets. Before the Lord always raises up his prophets, his seers, they call seers, to deliver the message that the Lord wants his people to hear before he brings destruction on them. And our people been rebellious. They've been very rebellious, coming up against us, talking crazy to us, mocking us. So now they find out that this thing is for real, man. This is for real, man. This thing is going down. So it's still time, man, for that grace period ain't up yet, so it's time to repent and come out of the spirit of rebellion. A lot of people still trying to make it here, and this place is over. It's done. It's done. It's over with, man. The Lord judging this place, man. You see? How we know? Because we stay occupied in prophecy. We watch this, we measure the time diligently as commanded to do so. So before we start, let's do this copyright, because I got some videos I'm gonna show. I'm gonna do like a 4-part lesson. And I'm using my other phone, I'm doing it like in 30 minutes, 33-minute increments, because I got videos still uploading. It's taking too long. It's taking them too fucking long for the upload. This don't supposed to take that damn long. So I'm gonna, hopefully tomorrow I'm gonna go up to the library and get them to help me get everything organized. Try to talk to someone of them librarians. I'm gonna go down the street, right there on Ocean Highway, to that library there, and see can I get some of them librarians to help me, But anyway, let's go and do this here. Fair use of the copyright statute of 1976.
Fair use, under Section 107 of U.S. copyright law, allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission. This is for things like commentary, criticism, teaching, or research. It considers the use's purpose, the work's nature, the amount used, and the impact on the market.
So fair use, I'm not monetized. Okay, let's go into this thing. Oh.
In Brooklyn Park, one particular officer that shared her story with me was stopped as she passed ICE going down the roadway. When they boxed her in, they demanded her paperwork, of which she's a U.S. citizen and clearly would not have any paperwork. When she became concerned about the rhetoric and the way she was being treated, she pulled out her phone. And then
Matter of fact, hold on, let me do this.
Record the instant the phone was knocked out of her hands, prevented her from recording it. The officer had their guns drawn during this interaction. And after the officer became so concerned, they were forced to identify themselves as a Brooklyn Park police officer in hopes of slowing the incident and de-escalating the incident down. The agents then immediately left after hearing this, making no other comments, no other apologies, just got in their vehicles and left. I wish I could tell you that this was an isolated incident. In fact, many of the chiefs standing behind me have similar incidents with their off-duty officers. This isn't just important because it happened to off-duty police officers, but what it did do is we know that our officers know what the Constitution is, they know what right and wrong is, and they know when people are being targeted, and that's what they were. In Brooklyn Park, one particular officer shared her story with me.
See, so y'all got to be careful out there, man, out there just roaming the streets and shit, you know, and watch these people, man, because you got a lot of these agents, man, they disappearing people, man. You know, hey, we here. We in this Jacob trouble. You see? A lot of people they gonna get caught up out here because they ain't aware of what time we living in. Okay? Now let's go here. I want to go to Midas Touch. Cause I got the video on my tablet here. Let me see here. Cause I just got done watching it.
The weather is nice and cool today, so I'm taking my new drone out to test its return to home feature. This drone is called the AirView Pro.
Donald Trump just held a disastrous press conference to mark his first year of what has been the most disastrous term in presidential history. Donald Trump was at...
Hold on, y'all. Damn. Oh, I know where it is. It's on my other channel. Let me see here. Damn. It must have been on that one then. Let's go back here. I think it's just
Minnesota way down, even though everything's a fight.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mark Rowley, Police Chief of City of Brooklyn Park. Recently, as the last 2 weeks, we, as law enforcement community, have been receiving endless complaints about civil rights violations in our streets from U.S. citizens. In Brooklyn Park, one particular officer that shared her story with me was stopped as she passed ICE going down the roadway. When they boxed her in, they demanded her paperwork, of which she's a U.S. citizen and clearly would not have any paperwork. When she became concerned about the rhetoric and the way she was being treated, she pulled out her phone. In an attempt to record the incident, the phone was knocked out of her hands, prevented her from recording it.
Oh, that's gotta hurt!
Well, things seem to be getting worse in Minnesota. If Trump's immigration crackdown was sold as law and order, what do you call it when law enforcement officers are calling out your tactics? In the Twin Cities, something remarkable just happened. Local law enforcement leaders went public to raise concerns about how federal agents, ICE and Border Patrol, have been operating underground. No, not activists, not politicians, not Antifa or radical left agitators, police chiefs and sheriffs. St. Paul Police Chief Axel Henry, Hennepin County Sheriff Donna Witt, and Brooklyn Park Police Chief Mark Briley all got in front of the camera in uniform and described a pattern where federal agents have been stopping and confronting people, including an off-duty law enforcement officer, and they've demanded proof of citizenship during these stops. They described how all of the people stopped were people of color, which Sheriff Witt described as, quote, concrete examples of profiling.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mark Rowley, Police Chief of City of Brooklyn Park. Behind me is a bunch of amazing police chiefs that are here in support of a very short but very important message that we want to share with you. What you won't hear from any of us today is rhetoric of abolish ICE or that there shouldn't be immigration enforcement. The truth is, immigration enforcement is necessary for our national security and for local security. But how it's done is extremely important. In fact, we have a long history of working exceptionally well with our federal partners, including ICE agents. And we have seen the best of them perform their job extremely well in the past. With that said, recently, as the last 2 weeks, we, as law enforcement community, had been receiving endless complaints about civil rights violations in our streets from U.S. citizens. What we're hearing is they're being stopped in traffic stops or on the street with no cause and being forced to demand paperwork to determine if they are here legally. As this went on over the past 2 weeks, we started hearing from our police officers the same complaints as they fell victim to this while off duty. Every one of these individuals is a person of color who has had this happen to them. In Brooklyn Park, one particular officer that shared her story with me was stopped as she passed ICE going down the roadway. When they boxed her in, they demanded her paperwork, of which she's a U.S. citizen and clearly would not have any paperwork. When she became concerned about the rhetoric and the way she was being treated, she pulled out her phone. In an attempt to record the incident, the phone was knocked out of her hands, prevented her from recording it. The officer had their guns drawn during this interaction. And after the officer became so concerned, they were forced to identify themselves as a Brooklyn Park police officer in hopes of slowing the incident and de-escalating the incident down. The agents then immediately left after hearing this, making no other comments, no other apologies, just got in their vehicles and left. I wish I could tell you that this was an isolated incident. In fact, many of the chiefs standing behind me have similar incidents with their off-duty officers. This isn't just important because it happened to off-duty police officers, but what it did do is we know that our officers know what the Constitution is, they know what right and wrong is, and they know when people are being targeted, and that's what they were. If it is happening to our officers, it pains me to think of how many of our community members are falling victim to this every day. It has to stop.
This is the part where Trump's team would like to just wave it away as routine enforcement, except it doesn't sound routine at all, does it? Even to those tasked with enforcing the law. And local leaders, they raised a basic practical problem here, right? Agents are covering their faces and not displaying identification, which makes accountability almost impossible. DHS have said it sent roughly 3,000.
Okay, let's start here. I'm gonna be back and forth, y'all. So let's do this here. Let's go into it. Hold on. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's start at Jeremiah chapter 30. Jeremiah chapter 30. Hold on here. Jeremiah chapter 30. I'm gonna start at the top. It reads, this is concerning of the deliverance from captivity promise. Okay. The word that came to Jeremiah from Yahweh, saying, thus speaketh Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai of Israel, saying, write all these words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. Verse 3, it said, for lo, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will bring again the captivity of my people, Israel and Judah. So Israel represent the northern kingdom, okay, talking about the 10 tribes thereof, and Judah represent the southern kingdom, which consists of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Okay, it said Israel and Judah, saith Yahweh, I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. Verse 4, it said, and these are the words that Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. See? All right. It said, for thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear and not of peace. So that fear of trembling, the voice of trembling, of fear and not of peace is talking about Jacob's trouble, which we're in right now, and it's gonna get worse. It said, verse 6, ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his lions, as a woman in travail? It said, and all faces are turned into paleness. It's gonna be so fucked. That's how fucked up it's gonna be out here. It's finna get. Verse 7, here go the point right here. It said, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. See, it's gonna get so worse that you're gonna have wars on every front. You're gonna have civil unrest going on here, right here in the great old United States. This is the start of it, and they're gonna be fighting overseas too. You know, we're gonna be in World War II. World War III, the third war. And within that time, while all this going on, in order to get normalcy again, you're gonna have to take on this man Chip. take on that device. In order for, they're gonna say, hey, you're gonna have people locked up in these concentration camps. They talked about how many they done arrested over 3,000 people, you know, since they done came here. Okay? They want to try to reach their quota, 3,000 people per day. So that's why I say y'all watch what y'all doing out there. Don't be out there just think you can post up on the fucking corner. Man, no. It's not gonna happen, man. This shit is over. That's what we've been trying to tell these brothers. Verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. See, so the Lord gonna allow these devils to get at the 2/3, the rebels. Those that been marking his word, marking his prophets. Saying, man, I don't want to hear that shit, you know, shit like that. So now you're going to be forced to hear it. You're going to be forced to go through it. You ain't going to have no peace, no normalcy. Because, hey, when we try to reach to you, you turn your back. You cast your back behind the Lord, you men and women. So y'all is going to learn the hard way. Y'all got a mark on you. How do you get this mark off you? Well, the grace period ain't up yet. I'll be trying to turn back to the Lord and try to do what is required of me. So Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 1 through 7 is saying, what we're witnessing is not random policy, but a prophetic pressure, see? It says, when a system begins to hunt, mark, and harass, it's a sign of transition, okay? Jacob's trouble is not the beginning of suffering, but the exposing of captivity, see? So the Lord is exposing the captivity. All this shit they done in these last 400 years, 500 years they done to us. Okay, we at the end of this shit. Okay, it's called the straight gate. Okay, we got to enter, this place gonna go out with bloodshed. It came in with bloodshed, so it's going out with bloodshed. So Jacob's trouble is not the beginning of suffering, but the exposing of captivity. The Most High always allow oppression to peak before intervention, see? So this verse set the prophetic framework for why fear is rising, but hope is closer, see? Let's read it again. At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it, see? So the phrase none is like it tell you that this is an unprecedented tightening, legal, economic, and physical, see? Jacob's trouble is not universal chaos. It is targeted pressure on a specific people, see? See, did the officer just not say that? Okay, the system doesn't need to announce racism. Its actions reveal its spirit, see? So you know them by the content of their characters, you see? That's how you can tell if these people speckle birds or not. Like, I was watching a video earlier, one of the brothers, I was watching his video, he sent me a video and I was watching it, he was going into saying, man, about 98% of these people, these so-called white speckled birds could be actually not Israelite, but Esau. You know them by the countenance of their character, okay? With these people hating you, then they not us, okay? They not the speckled bird, okay? You know them because all these other nations, they hate us. Keep that in mind. So if they have some form of hatred towards you, then they not them speckled birds, okay? That's how you can tell. All right. It said enforcement agencies become the modern tax master, just as in Egypt and Babylon. It said, but the verse does not end in destruction. It ends in deliverance, see? So salvation comes out of trouble, not before it, meaning endurance precedes rescue. So we're going to have to endure. So this is where faith in Yahushua separates the fearful from the sealed. Okay? So the next verse I'm going to bring out is talking about hold on, bear with me here. Okay, so it said when leaders start admitting something is not sustainable, prophecy is speaking. Jacob's trouble is never announced by prophets first. It's confessed by rulers last. Confusion between authorities signal the end of order, not its restoration. See, so it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. It's over. This place is collapsing. Okay. It said this is not immigration enforcement. This is exposure of captivity. See, so the scriptures already named this hour long before ICE ever exists. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7 again. It said, at last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So none is like it means no historical comparison fits. This is a unique pressure cycle. Okay, Jacob's trouble is selective, not universal, which is why profiling is central. The state admits fear, but cannot name the cause. Salvation is promised, but only after exposure reaches its peak. Okay? Being saved out of it means trouble intensifies before belief arrives. So this is not the end of Jacob. It's the end of illusions. So Yahushua already told us how this chapter reads. Okay? So y'all, if you want on your own time, it's Jeremiah chapter 30. Read the whole chapter. Okay. So random enforcement doesn't produce racial patterns. Profiling is policy when the system is afraid. See. So these people, these fucking Edomites, they know that at the end of they don't want to go into slavery. They think they're gonna try to control, maintain power, but it's over for them, man. So they got a bad case of cognitive denialism. Look that word up. Okay, so profiling is policy when the system is afraid. The beast always reveals who it fears, by whom it questions. So this is not about legality. It's about identification. Scripture already warned us of selective scrutiny. Lamentation chapter 4, verse 18. They hunt, say what? They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Man, let me read that again. Lamentation chapter 4, verse 18. They hunt our steps. Are they not doing this here? That we cannot go in our streets. Are this not going on, y'all? Our end is near. Say what? Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. See? So it's not the end of the world. It's not the end, it's the end of all wickedness that's been going on with Jacob. Okay? So this is talking about they hunt our steps, describes street level surveillance, not courtroom trials, being stopped, with no cause is exactly what hunting looks like. The streets become traps. Say what? The streets become traps when authority abandons law. Fear enters daily movement, driving, walking, existing. Okay, this is how captivity tightens without chains. Okay, the verse speaks to exhaustion, not defeat. Fulfillment means prophecy is on schedule. See, okay. Let's get this one. It said, let's go. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 16. Rights die quietly when paperwork becomes proof of humanity. Citizenship treats as conditional is a prophetic marker. Empires always reduce people to documents before removal. Show me your papers is not new. It's a recycled tyranny. The Bible already warned about this exchange. Okay, Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 16 said, and moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness that iniquity was there. So judgment spaces have become lawless zones. Okay, enforcement no longer guarantees justice. See, so the righteous are treated as suspects. Paper replaces truth. Power replaces law. This inversion is a sign of decay. See, so wickedness wears a badge when unchecked. The Most High sees every stop. Okay, so a kingdom divided does not announce its collapse. It demonstrates it, see? And we've been telling y'all, man, we've been telling y'all day in and day out, this day was coming. So ain't no excuse. So a kingdom divided does not announce its collapse. It demonstrates it. When police accuse police, authority fractures. Okay, this is not protest. It's institutional alarm. Conflicting oaths reveal conflicting masters. Scriptures already expand this fracture. Matthew chapter 12, verses 25. Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Okay? So federal versus local is not unity, it's division.